On Tuesday, November 18th, close to 100 people turned out to oppose the Oakland Zoo's land grab, their move to privatize a public park. What follows is some video of speakers on this issue, but first it's interesting to see how the council functions. Normally they fill a lot of time with feel-good stories that make themselves look good. An example is an award given to this young man who collected sleeping bags for the homeless. Lost in the story is the fact that the city council and their sponsors, the real estate speculators, will be causing even more homelessness as they further gentrify Oakland.
You are the stewards of the land that is public property in Oakland, and it is up to you to preserve it for the future generations of Oaklanders.
Here tonight is one side, there are zoo executives, zoo scientists, zoo consultants, and mostly zoo employees and private donors.
I'm the treasurer of the East Bay Zoological Society, the chair of the finance committee, and an executive vice president for Wells Fargo Bank. I'm here to speak to the commitments that we've procured to ensure the project will be completed, as well as our ability to continue to operate the zoo, both currently and with the expansion.
Zoological Society is a private corporation controlled in a top-down fashion by officers and a corporate board. No board members are democratically elected to the zoo by the public, and none represents the public interest. This undemocratic corporate organization and its leaders operate on public land and have received tens of millions of dollars in taxpayer money. Some of the taxpayer money has gone into high salaries for top zoo executives, at least one of whom makes over $200,000 a year, substantially more than the Oakland mayor makes. While at the same time they have full-time employees that are paid $12 an hour. Try living in Oakland on $12 an hour. That's one of the zoo, at least some of the zoo salary, that kind of salary. This is not socially just. It is natural for a private corporation to want to expand and develop. This is their MO. The problem is that their developer ethos results in endless expansion and is exactly why our entire planet is increasingly under threat from the current ecological crisis.
And really, I would like to speak to my brothers and sisters out here, because we just heard in the previous issue how this city council is really just the representatives of the real estate speculators. The same real estate speculators and the same one-percenters who control the Oakland Zoo. And we shouldn't have any question about what this plan is really all about. When we think about what Nick DeHasia, one of the big muckamucks in the zoo, had to say about it, he said this plan will change the face of Oakland. And we who live in the flatlands, and I've been living in the flatlands for 45 years, we know what he means. We know whose faces he wants to change. What he means is it'll further gentrify and yuppify and whiteify Oakland. That's what this plan is really all about. And it shouldn't come as any surprise to us when we think about who sits on the board of directors of the Oakland Zoo. You have a representative of who is the CEO of the Bay Area Council, which is the Bay Area big business personified, all the major corporations. You have somebody from the Boston Consulting Group, which is a management consulting firm. You have somebody from California Capital and Investment Group, a real estate brokerage and development firm. And you have a representative of that corporation that always has the environment and the people at heart, Chevron Corporation. Tried to buy the elections up in Richmond, and which have been buying elections all around the country, along with these other real estate speculators and banksters. And it should be no surprise, what this is really all about is privatization of precious public land. That I take and that's what really horrifies these people, that it's free, and it doesn't bring in the money. It's the same kind of privatization as you see in the public schools and every other public service. That's what they're really all after. And so, in conclusion, I would say this. I do have one thing in common with these people, with these banksters, real estate speculators, and so on, when I look at the precious Knowland Park. What I see when I look at it and what they see when they look at it, we both see green. I see the green grass and the green trees and what my children and my grandchildren can enjoy. What they see when they look at it, they see this green here.
Predictably, the City Council voted 4-2 in favor of this land theft, and not a single City Council member spoke to the real issues at heart: privatization and the domination of big business. But the struggle against this continues. Right before the Knowland Park issue came up, a group of residents of Chinatown came to protest against the planned gentrification of their part of town. We need to join these sorts of issues together. We need to fight in the communities and the workplaces, and we also need to elect our own representatives, representatives of the working class people who stand completely outside of and opposed to the Republican establishment. That is one further step in fighting this system that is destroying our planet.